on here? Hello? Hello? Can you open the door?
I am opening the door. Give me 1 second.
Hello? What's going on? Who are you?
My identity is not of your concern at the moment.
Where are we?
You'll see. You'll see. You should pick this gun up.
M4, I like it. Mm,
There should be ammunition in his backpack.
excellent, excellent. Now,
It should be of use.
excellent.
Follow me.
Just a moment, I need to retrieve the ammo. Excellent. Why is everybody
More
dead?
weapons.
And where are we?
A ship.
Well, that much is obvious. Not a very good one, considering it's on fire, but...
There's a lot.
Um, and there's an uncomfortable amount of corpses. Log.
Agreed.
Prison transport.
Supplies in the cargo
I...
container. Excellent.
Are you HVI 765? Alright,
Perhaps.
explain yourself. Who are you? Who are
If
you
I
and
had
why are
wanted to
we here?
kill you, I would have killed you already.
Hmm. I suppose that's fair. Okay, um, um, alright. Ooh,
I would have. I
pistols.
gave
These could
you
be
the
useful.
gun so that you can protect yourself.
I've grabbed a second gun instead of ammo. Hmm. I suppose that's fair. I'd, I'd still like an explanation as to what's going on.
You will get an explanation in time. Right now, we need to turn off that beacon.
Hmm. Understood.
There's tools in here. I suppose you should grab a set.
Affirmative. Alright. How do we get to this beacon? Probably through the airlock you're destroying.
Probably, yes. It should be on top of the ship, from what I know.
Aye. Oh, well, this is pleasant. Ow.
Found it.
We're just gonna pretend that didn't happen.
Beacon has been disabled.
Excellent. We're going to pretend I don't keep falling into holes. Steel plates. May as well. Alright. So, out of curiosity, why have we crashed?
I myself do not know.
Hmm. Considering the log said you were a dangerous entity, I sort of expected you'd have something to do with it, honestly. No hydrogen in that.
Well, that's not the case. My... I don't think I can really do this. I haven't tried it before, but... Yeah, I don't think I can do that.
Hmm.
That's beyond my skills.
So, what do we do?
Well, we need to hunker down, start building. I say we should scrap it from the inside out after we take the cargo containers, of course.
Makes sense. Try to make a base.
Leave the outer hull intact
Hold on,
for a
my
while.
HUD is getting probably ghost contacts, but they're over here. Or it's just weird grass. Okay. Scrap the ship from the inside.
Ooh, refinery.
Where do we set up shop?
Let's
I'd,
see.
I'd say near the airlock so we can find it reliably.
Yeah, somewhere over here.
Alright.
Here, I'll start building.
I'll get the parts to finish welding things. Oop. I'm assuming we should try to keep the life support online, what's left of it, for as long as possible.
Yes.
I thought as much. Oop, that's part of the hull. That's okay. I'm sure it's fine. Alright. Alright, what's over here? Log entry. 2 high-value inmates. The ship is cursed. Okay. What? Do we have a date, or do we know? Not know.
There should be dates in the log.
Indeed, I'm just not sure if it's how much time it's been since that log cut off.
Well, it hasn't been that long.
So we should assume that it's the 26th then. Curious. I find myself intrigued by whatever manages to down the ship. They usually build prison ships fairly durable. I still don't know how I got onto a prison ship in the first place, but... Actually, do you know why I was there? Because, I'll be honest, I do not remember anything. Which is a little disturbing.
I honestly can't hear you over the wind.
Do you remember anything of how or why we were on that ship? Because I remember nothing, which disturbs me almost more than the crash. Almost.
Honestly, I may have lost a little bit of my memory as well. However, I do remember that we do not want to be caught by them. Trust me when I say that they are not the kind of people you want to be in prison under.
Understood. They called you a mysterious alien, a dangerous alien entity. What's up with that? Or is it in my best interests not to know?
Well, I suppose you should probably know something. They do not like members. I am one of the last of my kind, and they do not like us at all.
Hmm. I get the feeling that that's a mutual thing.
You are correct.
I'll s-
Alright.
do you want me
More
to
steel
strip out one of the
plates.
reactors, see if we can get some power onto the base? Actually, I'm going
Yes,
to
before
need
that,
power
we should
myself.
take
Do
the
we have a
cargo
med bay?
container.
Do we have a medical facility available? I'm almost out of power in my suit.
We should have some... The ship still appears to have power, so you could probably sit in the control seat.
Good idea.
Yeah, so you can sit in the control seat until we get a medical facility up.
Excellent.
Okay, cargo
0 meters a
container.
second. Yeah, that seems accurate. Alright, I'll strip one of these. I've taken one of the small reactors offline. I'll move it to the
Good.
base. One of the jump drives appears functional, although the logs said they cut out. If we could
Strange.
if we could get the ship flying again or construct another vessel, we could probably use that.
We probably should try to construct another vessel at some point, but for now,
We just need to keep ourselves in one piece.
yes. We need to consolidate our resources.
Perhaps we should also get away from the crash site at some point, as that beacon was transmitting for at least a small time before we cut it off, and there may be a search party.
Perhaps.
From what you've told me, I don't think it would be in our best interests to be here when that arrives. Do you see ice anywhere around? The ship's generators, oxygen generators, are still online, but there's no ice in them.
Looks like we're in a tidal flat area.
That's not good, I'm guessing. Wait. Oh, this is helpful. There's a hydrogen tank. Might be full. I'll see. I know I saw a bottle in the ship. Hmm. Don't need this LCD to tell us the ship is a mess. Oh, there's an oxygen. There appears to be a functional oxygen tank and a functional hydrogen tank. Whether they're full, I don't know. It doesn't appear that they are.
Well, we'll have to find some ice.
No! Wait, maybe. Yes! This hydrogen tank is full. It will not fill my this. Yes! We have a full hydrogen tank, almost.
Excellent.
We should keep that where it is. I will inspect the oxygen tank I've found as well. maybe I should be able to tell if it is filled. Yes, we have a full oxygen tank, and it looks like another at least mostly full on the other side. So we do have methods of refilling bottles. I've found one hydrogen bottle which I have filled, however, no oxygen bottles, which worries me.
It appears there is some oxygen on this planet. At least. So,
Yes, the question is, it's not enough, is the problem.
it's not enough to fill it, but it appears to be enough to breathe.
No, it is not. I just tried.
Hmm.
Well, one problem at a time, I suppose.
Yes. Speaking of hydrogen, I need some hydrogen.
Here, I'll pass you this bottle.
Okay, where'd you go?
It's behind the reactor.
Okay,
Over here.
thank you.
Indeed. Ah, steel plates. Maybe we should try to get that refinery that we saw moved onto this station in a moment.
Yeah. It appears that some of the components, some more components for it were in the cargo container inside the ship, so...
Perhaps. I want. It's actually almost. I'm going to repair it and see if I can. If there are any materials left inside. I've also found a connector on the bottom of the ship, although it's empty. Whatever attacked this thing or brought it down did good job. Refinery's empty. Damn. Would have been helpful if
Well,
there
it is
was.
a prison ship. It's not like it was meant to be carrying cargo.
True, but I could hope, couldn't I?
Yeah,
At least there's plenty of steel plates on that.
yeah,
Should help us
at
get that
least.
floor at our shelter up and running.
And it is a refinery, so... Which we need.
Indeed, although having the shelter complete is, I believe, the priority. As I am not aware of how your people function, but mine usually dislike environments of this sort, and shelter is always preferable.
That is understandable. Most species dislike environments of this type.
Indeed. Once our shelter is operational, we should examine the surrounding area, see if we have any ice or other resources available.
Agreed.
Damn. This looks to have been an impressive ship at one point. if I hadn't been imprisoned on board, I would be sad to see it destroyed like this. As it is, I can't quite spare the feelings.
Yes.
Hmm. I've discovered another problem that requires solving. Despite its oxygen tanks, this ship, I have no way of replenishing my oxygen supply from the ship. Hmm. Perhaps, perhaps, I may need to hack a door. Hmm. The question is if that will work. No, it does not appear that it will. Oh. That is probably why.
Base appears to be coming along fairly well.
Indeed. And I have managed to repressurize, in a temporary fashion, the bridge of the... No, I have not. I believed I had repressurized the bridge of the vessel successfully, however it appears I was mistaken. Which
Pity.
is unfortunate, as without oxygen, well, I don't know how much you know about humans, but we tend to disagree with...
Oh, I know your biology.
Oh, that's another piece of the ceiling. Ignore that.
I've been around here for a while.
I do not know whether that is a good statement to have heard. I do not believe so.
Spent much time around humans. Where did they go? There's still some components in this cargo container,
Oh, there are. Perhaps we should move them.
along with some weapons that could possibly be disassembled.
Hmm. Indeed.
We should try to leave the ship's log intact as long as possible.
Good idea. You seem to know of the people who we were captured by. How long would it usually take for their forces to respond to a distress beacon?
Well, it depends on how far away they are from it.
Do we know this? Do we know how far we are from their nearest facilities?
No.
Hmm. That could be problematic.
Although, the log says they were taking us to Pertam.
Does it say how close we were?
However, Pertam is very far from their headquarters.
That's something. A spot of good news, perhaps. However, I am close to succumbing to oxygen loss. Okay. They were less than a day from Pertam at FTL.
Well, then we should be a good ways away, then. Appears the weather has cleared up.
That is something, at least.
Try opening your visor again.
I shall. It appears the air is still hazardous to breathe.
Well, we have good news. There's ice right next to us.
Perfect. And I know the generators aboard the ship can be transferred over to the base with relative ease. Shall I go collect ice then?
I'll grab some ice.
Ah, very well.
Just weld up some stuff before I get back.
Very well. I will transfer over one of the oxygen generation devices. I'm deconstructing a cargo container.
Please don't deconstruct the cargo container. We need that.
It was empty. I checked.
Ah, I thought you were talking about the one on the base.
No, one of the ones on the ship. I've attached the oxygen generator to the cargo container. No, that won't do it.
Alright, ice is on the way.
Excellent.
Ice is in the generator.
Excellent. Let's hope that this allows me to replenish my suit's supplies.
No, you need to build a cockpit.
Indeed.
I'll do it for you.
Indeed. I confess that the memory loss seems to go deeper than anticipated.
Displays. I can get you displays.
There were some in the cargo container.
I have found them. And we might need some bulletproof glass. What else is there that needs to be grabbed?
Well, all the computers that were necessary were also in the cargo container, so that should be it. Indeed, it is functional.
Hop in and get your oxygen.
Just in time. We can now replenish our oxygen, our power, and our jetpack fuel.
Excellent.
It isn't a medical facility, but it's the next best thing, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah. We should probably get a medical facility up and running eventually.
I know they require specialized components. Do we have any?
I think there were some in the cargo container at one point. However, I'm not sure if they're in there now.
Let me check. We have communications components. If we wished to signal for assistance, we could. However, perhaps not the smartest thing.
Yes, perhaps not. More steel plates.
That seems to be always what is necessary. These cells seem to have been fairly well armored. Why did they take so many measures to keep you locked up?
As I said, they did not like me.
Hmm.
And they perceive me as dangerous, which I guess is a correct assumption if you've pissed me off.
Hmm. I shall strive not to do so,
I know.
considering, judging by the amount of corpses, I although
I
those may
don't
not
care.
have been your doing, I still believe it would be wise, as although my memory is not complete, I do not remember prison ships typically having more than 2 personnel at most, usually 1. Single pilot.
The ones on the ship were not my doing.
Hmm. The way you say that implies that some elsewhere were your doing.
Well, perhaps I should reword it. The ones that you found on the ship were not my doing.
That's more worrying. Not less.
Really?
Yes. Because that implies there are bodies I did not find on the ship.
I see how that would discomfort you.
Indeed. Oh, I've fallen through the roof onto a door.
Can you continue stripping out some of that heavy armor so that we can weld up some more things?
I'm doing so now.
Excellent.
Hold on. I wish to. 1, 2, 3. There were 2 on the bridge, and 1 that the log, I believe, stated was thrown out an airlock. 6 personnel on a prison ship that would usually have a crew of 1. They very much disliked you.
Yes, indeed.
Why?
It's often known as bigotry.
Hmm. I suppose. They also seem to have been unusually well armed. Rifles of this caliber aren't typically used except in the military.
Well, they do brand themselves as the galaxy's premier corrections agency.
Hmm. Perhaps. I feel there is something you are not telling me, but for now.
Need batteries over here.
Batteries?
Lots of batteries.
Hmm. I want to know what could have disabled a ship's FTL drives during a jump. I don't believe that technology exists. Not to my knowledge. Limited though it may be. Damn. The weather's worsening.
It appears it is worsening.
That's not good because in one of those storms that was going on when we first exited, they could have a battleship coming out of the sky and we'd never notice until it was right on top of us.
Well, from what I know of their procedures, they tend to use small drones to scout.
So we'd probably get only a few of those, at least at first. Although I
Yeah, so we don't have to
presume
worry
once
about
once
battleships
those
too
were
late.
destroyed, they would send larger vessels.
Yes, they would.
And we will eventually be in trouble, perhaps. Especially if we
Eventually.
especially if we remain too long at the crash. Oh, hello.
Yes. That's a safe assumption.
However, for a time at least, we should be fine to stay here.
Yes.
And before you inquire, I don't know how I know these bits of procedure. I just do.
Probably residual memories from whatever got you locked up here.
If I was listed as high value as you, one of the last members of a race they hate, I must have done something. I suppose we can only hope that my memories come back or that we find out elsewhere.
Can you
I,
get some construction components, small steel tubes, motors, and computers to weld up this connector?
I might have some on me. Give me a moment to retrieve myself from the roof. Where are you?
I'm right up here. There's a connector on top of the roof.
Ah, on the roof. So I
On the
didn't need to
landing
jump
pad.
down from the roof. I could have stayed on the roof. Wonderful. Oh, I had some of it. We need 2 more motors and 18 computers.
Okay. There might be some in the cargo container, and if not, there might be some in the cargo containers inside the ship.
Indeed. I'm going to try to empty that out. Speaking of, there are none in the ship. The ship is nearly
Found
empty.
some computers. Yeah, there's some in the cargo container in the base.
Hmm.
Motors is what we need.
I'll go through and see what's on other construction
Two
cargo.
motors. Let's see.
Hmm. The ship's containers are
We've
mostly
got plenty
empty.
of.
There's a few more guns, a bit of ammo, some components I don't have room for in my inventory. Worryingly, most of the reactors are in fact out of fuel. That could become a problem, but we will not need the ship for very long, and our base can operate with one.
Connector is online.
Excellent. You're going to try to build a vessel then?
Well, first we'll start with trying to get a mining ship online.
Wise. Wait. What are... No, those are the wrong components. Actually, what we should prioritize is assembly capabilities.
Yes.
going to clean up these bodies. Disturbs me.
Yes, please do.
I plan to find which reactor still has fuel, and I will remove the others. I found it.
Okay, assembler is nearly online.
Excellent. So you are aware the last reactor on the far side of the ship from the base, near the active jump drive, is the one with fuel in it. The one on the top, of course.
Good. Good to know.
So, as long as we do not remove that, there is still power in the wreck.
Alright, we need 84 computers.
The base's hangar doors are partially online now.
Excellent. Six motors.
I do not believe we need the oxygen and hydrogen tanks aboard the ship anymore.
Perhaps not, but we may lose the full hydrogen.
Yes. We'll leave the hydrogen tank or tanks intact for now, as we have a bottle that can benefit. However, the oxygen tank we have no bottles for, and thus it is unnecessary to leave either intact.
Doesn't appear to be any more debris behind the ship. I'm going to start cutting off these thruster pods.
A fine idea. I don't believe we're using them.
Especially this one over here is crumpled up.
Perhaps it is no longer necessary then.
It appears to have been hit by weaponry.
So we were right. Something attacked this vessel, brought it down. The question is what?
Yes. That is the question.
Fortunately, we seem to have power for some days, even with half of our uranium and all of the battery power still aboard the wreck. I'm going to remove this jump drive, what's left of it, before it explodes. I believe they have
Yes, that's probably a good idea.
I believe they have a tendency to do so, if I remember accurately.
There's a blown-out reactor here that could probably be removed.
Indeed, I will get to it momentarily. There is much scrap on the ground.
I got it.
Do we have an assembly? We do have an assembly thing. Mostly operational, at least. What more do we need for it?
See, we need like 84 computers.
Where did I get 7K of scrap?
No idea.
I didn't have that in my inventory. I didn't pick any up. Weird.
Seem to be accumulating scrap as well.
The assembly machine is fully operational, you will be interested to know.
Excellent, excellent. We should probably start disassembling
The
some of
communications
our...
components, perhaps? I do not believe we will need them, seeing as we have no intention of signaling the for assistance.
Should... Yes, let's see. Where is the other assault rifle?
Alright, I've begun disassembling the communications components that will give us a good supply of iron and silicon.
Good, good. Putting some reactor components in here.
Let us see.
Where did that refinery go?
I disassembled it.
Ah,
Hmm. We need nickel and silver for the components of a medical facility. When you construct that mining vessel, those should be your priority. Actually, what components would yield those when deconstructed?
hmm.
Hmm. Intriguing. Ship, the ship has intact or semi-intact atmospheric flight systems, so it was not entering the gravity well that brought this ship down.
Worrying.
Worrying. Do you actually know what destroyed the vessel?
I do not.
I do not find that reassuring. At least the weather
Lots of
seems...
yelling and loud noises.
The weather seems clear for now, at least.
Yes, that's good. Alright. Found more steel plates.
Excellent. My focus, I think, will be on completing the outer walls of the base.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about making glass,
Hmm.
just so that we can actually see something.
Perhaps smart, if not the best for defense. Oh, wow, this ice is
Well, we do expect to leave this base before
true.
we intend on defending it.
The ice is closer than I was expecting.
Yes. Lucky.
Indeed. Hmm. Oddly malleable ice. I can see my boot prints. That isn't normal.
I built a hole. I dug a hole over here so that we can mine without disturbing the surface.
Wait, where?
Right over here.
Ah, over there. Indeed. I believe by the time the weather worsens again, we should be mostly shielded by the base facility.
Perhaps.
If not completely. After all, at the rate we have constructed this,
More steel plates.
Indeed. I'm just salvaging whatever is nearest. In this case, the atmospheric flight systems. My suit appears to have had a temporary error. It may have
Same.
been damaged in the crash. What? What teleportation trickery is this?
Hmm.
Whoa. What trickery? What are you doing?
I appear to have found some medical components.
How many? Enough for a medical facility? Or.
3. So enough for a survival kit.
Good, we should build one.
Yes. I'll grind on this cockpit once I get some energy.
Excellent. That construction is rather vertigo inducing.
Yes, so is the positioning of this cockpit.
And, as I said, vertigo inducing. I'm going to remove the elements of the vessel that are on fire as a priority.
Yes.
Especially this hydrogen tank. Again, volatile, potentially explosive, not good news for us.
Yes. We don't want to have a Hindenburg incident.
Hindenburg, you do know your Earth history. I suppose you said you had spent time around humans, but that's rather obscure by this point in time. What, a couple of centuries ago at least? I think. Actually, I'm not too sure what year it is. I've gotten another 10,000 kilograms of scrap. How is this happening?
We need to put that in a refinery.
Indeed, as soon as we have one.
Yes. In fact, I'm going to build one right now.
Perhaps we should prioritize the walls. But yes, I can see how one would be useful.
Steel plates.
Everything seems to require them.
Yeah, the world revolves around them.
Indeed. Why is this sideways?
Because it's the most effective orientation that I could put it in
I
at the moment.
suppose. I suppose.
Especially with the positioning of the assembler as it is.
It is nice to be able to heal again. I was wounded from likely the crash.
Yes.
I would at some point, when we're out of immediate danger, be intrigued to learn more about your species. Actually, I do not even know your name, I believe.
Yes. That would be an intriguing conversation.
I look forward to it. Well, you will be happy to know the ship is much less on fire than it was moments ago.
Yes.
And those elements that are in danger of exploding are mostly removed or intact.
I may have just removed the log on accident.
I believe you said we should keep that intact.
It's intact, but it's on the ground and it's depowered.
Close enough.
When we build a ship, we can pick it up.
It's just occurred to me I don't have my blocks oriented to the same color, so now there's one small stretch of wall right above the doors.
I was intending to put windows there so we could potentially observe things.
Directly above the door?
Yes.
Very little observing could be
build
done from there. Ah, well,
I can build a catwalk.
I suppose you are the expert. I think. Perhaps some cryopods would be in order. I am tired. I do not know how long it has been since I slept.
Yes. Cryopods are beds.
Yes, you construct those. I will continue to salvage parts of the vessel. The weather appears to be
Knowing the
worsening.
schematics of the ship we were on. Yes. Along with the reduction of light.
I'm interested to see what project you have going on the roof.
No, it's just a landing pad.
Ah, I believed you
Nothing,
were further
nothing
along.
fantastic. There isn't really much to it. It's just
I
a landing
confess, I
pad.
believe you had moved further and begun constructing your vessel already.
Sadly, we do not have the resources for that yet, and I am somewhat consumed with building of the base.
You make a fair point, alien. The only thing left on the front of this vessel still on fire appears to be embedded within the ground. It is not too much of a pressing concern.
Bulletproof glass, which I can find here.
Hmm. It's as I said, the next storm and we nearly have cover.
Yes, nearly.
However, I believe I'm going to create a bed. I am tired.
Go ahead and do that.
Bullet-proofed glass. Though why I would require it for an indoor sleeping apparatus is beyond me. Hmm. There will be some on the ship.
Lock placement.
Ah, you've
You
already
say
salvaged
box.
the windows.
Yes, I have. There might be some in the cargo container, though. In
There
fact, I
is.
think I have some on.
Hmm,
I have some on me. I'll just weld it up.
the.
Done.
Excellent.
Bed
Thank
is
you.
welded.
An oxygen pressurizer. I confess I have never heard of the instrument. Ah, no, I'm just a food. Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
I will see you tomorrow then.
Excellent. Before you drop off,
Yes.
I'd like to outline my construction plans with you.
Very well. I am listening.
My plan is to have a layer of bulletproof glass up here so we can have some windows for lighting and to observe out of. And
Indeed.
down here we have a layer of full blocks, and then the bottom two are half blocks.
Excellent. No protection in a sustained fight, however, sufficient against the desert.
Yes, and that's what we need it for.
Indeed.
We do not plan to do any fighting until we have the means to do so.
Indeed. Well, I believe now I shall sleep.
Yes, that would be a good idea.
Good night, Alan. Till tomorrow.
Good night, friend.